That's the thing about this city, the green-eyed girl thought sourly as she looked down at her chess game. Blood has been spilled, and no one cares. Well, now that will change. The girl reached for her pawn to move it forward but stopped. Her left arm burned and moments of time coursed through her veins. Images of the brown-eyed girl filled her mind. The brown-eyed girl sat in a completely white room, in front of a chessboard exactly like hers. The brown-eyed girl moved her pawn forward with a blank expression on her face. The green-eyed girl looked around her dark room. Very well, miss. I'll play your game. She smiled as she moved her pawn. Whoever you are, I hope you make a worthy opponent. Tina locked eyes with Bonnie and sighed. You have never met Adeline. How could you have dreamt of her? Zach looked at Ethan. Your eyes changed after Adeline tackled you, so maybe hers did too. Cody and Liz stood by the door, both lost in their own thoughts. Simon looked out the window, off to the horizon. So, where is this graveyard? Zach ruffled through the old notebooks as he explained. Addie built all worlds on her old poems and dreams. Each poem had some external and internal resources within them. That could be music, some of her old memories, TV shows, or even books. Zach pulled out one notebook that was full of poems as he continued. One of her poems was about Alice in Wonderland, and how she got lost in her creativity. Listen to this. Zach held out the book and began to read. I'm lost in my own little magical world, going deeper into the white rabbit's hole. I sit with the Mad Hatter, sipping tea till the pain and sadness goes away. I painted the Queen's roses red with my broken heart. Alice betrayed me, and now I am the Queen of Hearts. Once Zach finished reading, there was silence. Ethan had a confessed expression on his face. What does Wonderland have to do with a graveyard? Crystal put her face into her palm and sighed. The graveyard is Wonderland. What is a place full of pain and sadness? Damien raised an eyebrow. I don't think that's the right place, because Addie had an idea for a story in there as well. See? He took the book and started to flip through the pages. Here it is. Damien started to read out loud. This house was the home of a witch who fell in love with a young boy who lived in the town. The two kept their love hidden because the townsfolk were evil and feared witchcraft. The witch was caught with the boy by the boy's wicked twin sister who wanted her brother dead. The witch was burned in the middle of the town while her lover watched in pain. He was to be killed as well. The cemetery in the backyard is dedicated to them. Cody and Liz looked up, remembering where they were. Liz walked over to Damien. That might be the place to go. Zach looked at the group. We can divide into teams and go to each place while a third team stays here to look for Glenda. Zach, Tina, and Ethan decide to go to Wonderland while Damien, Liz, and Cody go to the witch's house. The rest of the group go help the search party by the river. Zach looked at Ethan as Tina walked through the portal first. You better help me find Adeline, or I will kill you. Ethan pulled out the pen of death from his jean pocket and nodded. She saved me. I own her a lot. Zach's eyes narrowed. Yeah, you do. The two stepped through the portal together. The green-eyed girl sat looking at the chess game as two more pawns moved forward along with a bishop. A smile appeared on her face as she called for two masked figures. One had metal legs and the other had long brown hair that went to her hips. The green-eyed girl's smile grew as she moved her two pawns forward. I have a job for you too. The brown-eyed girl looked down at her game as her face hardened. She stood up and mouthed something unintelligible. Her tattoo lit up like a light bulb as she picked up the bishop and whispered into it. Zach felt a chill run down his spine. He reached into his hoodie pocket and felt the devil's pen pieces move around. Zach stared ahead at the entrance of Wonderland, a maze of rose bushes. Adeline was telling him something, but he didn't know what. Tina and Ethan stood on either side of him. Ethan locked eyes with Zach. We will find Adeline. Zach nodded and the three of them stepped into the maze, unaware of the fact that they were being followed by two close friends. Damien shook his head in disbelief. I thought it would be here. Cody and Liz stood by the witch's gravestone while Damien paced back and forth. Liz laid a flower by the grave. Well, it isn't, and now we can go to our world to help search. Cody sighed in agreement. Yeah, dude. It's getting late and maybe Zach and the others have it covered. Damien sighed. Okay, let's go. As he turned to open a portal, Layson and Angel came out of one. Layson pulled his elbow back to reveal a gun built into it and started to scan the area. Angel locked eyes with Liz. Are you okay? Were you followed? Cody and Damien exchanged glances. Layson kept his gun arm out. Adeline told us that you and Zach's group were in trouble. Zach led the way as the maze thickened. Tina felt chills running down her spine for no reason. Ethan looked back at her. Bae? Is something wrong? Tina looked up to see Zach and Ethan had pulled out weapons and were looking behind her. Ethan had the pen of death in hand while Zach just held an ordinary kitchen knife. Tina turned around to see two masked figures, a boy and girl, blocking the way they came. The two took off their masks and dropped them onto the dirt. Ethan's and Tina's mouths dropped. Standing before them were Artie and Ethan's sister, Abby.